What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Stinkler. I'm back in college, and I forgot to bring my microphone with me. So for now, I'm using my headset microphone. So if I sound different, that's why. But that's not the topic today. I listened to Offset's new album, Kiari, and per usual, I'm going to review it. I'm not really a big Offset fan, but spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. I kind of like this album kind of a lot. I don't really like trap albums or trap beats that much. I enjoy them, but I'm not the greatest enjoyer of these. But I think that Offset did a lot in this, and I'll get to that later. This album is an hour and 7 minutes long with 23 tracks. So I'm gonna do the other kind of format for this. Where I'm gonna go for songs I think are good, songs I think are bad, and then my overview of the album as a whole. So let's jump right into it, shall we? Jump, jump, jump. So the first good song on this album is Pills, second track on the album, and it has a really, really good sample. I don't know what it's from, but it sounds very familiar, and it sets the tone for this song really well. Is a trap beat, but the trap beat kind of goes hard on this with the sample that he's using. The Young Boy's on this. He has a really good verse on it. Like he's been kind of hitting lately. I can't lie. Ever since he's gotten out of prison, like Massive was like a pretty decent album for him, and now he's got this verse on Pills off of Kiari. So overall, this is a pretty good song and a pretty good second song. Like Enemies wasn't bad, but the song is leagues above Enemies in my opinion. Next is Different Species featuring Gunna, and I think that this is like the opposite of most of Gunna's like stuff. You know what I mean? Uh, uh Offset has like these trap beats, but with very interesting things going on around the trap beat, which is like kind of like the core of the beat. And Gunna very known for his trap beats. It's just very very poetic in the sense that his trap album was pretty bad, but Offset's trap album is pretty decent, and he's a feature on it. And I think Gunna really has a good verse. For me, in my opinion, it really has a good verse. And he's one of the better tracks of the part. It's a very chill song, and it brings in a guitar, which makes a big, big, big difference on this beat, and it makes it just so much better. Next is Bodies by Jid. Literally follows Different Species, but this song was teased to, for the album, get people hyped for the album, and it worked really well for me. I really like Jid's part on it. I really like the samples. I really like the hook on it. I think Offset is kind of spitting on this. It's just a pretty good track overall, and I think you should have maybe heard it before this album came out because it was teased for the album. Next is Checkmate, which is very late in the album, towards the back end of it, and it has a very interesting beat to it, like the most interesting beat on the album, and I think the best beat on the album completely. This has been in rotation a lot, like a lot for me recently. It's so fun to listen to, and it has like such a mean vibe to it. It's almost like I'm in the mafia and I'm in the church and like we're sacrificing someone, or like I'm being, I don't know, like initiated into that mob or something. I don't know. I think the best song on Kiari, hands down. The final good song I'm going to mention is Never Let Go featuring John Legend. This song is completely about Takeoff, and it's Offset's memorial for Takeoff in a way, him kind of squashing this beef that they've had now that he's sadly passed away, which is pretty cool. This is the second album that John Legend has been on this year where he's like been singing about like someone's like death and that kind of regard, which is interesting that it's happened twice. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna bring up the Doofenshmirtz meme, but it is interesting that's happened twice. But other than that, this song is really good. I really would recommend this song. It's one of Offset's best performances on this album, besides Checkmate, in my opinion. Now for some of the bad songs. Professional, I don't think is that great. I think it has a cool beat switch, but I think lyrically it's lacking. I don't think Offset's really doing anything that fun on this track. Next is Love You Down, which comes right after Bodies, and it's a completely different vibe. I really like the sample, but I'm gonna be really nitpicky on this song because Offset's flow just doesn't match kind of the vibe of the sample that he's chosen. Like if he rapped a little slower, I think that I would like this song a lot more, but I think it's kind of bad because of how Offset is choosing to rap on this particular sample that he's chosen. Next is Folgers, which I think is just a boring song. It has a really weird beat that is kind of enjoyable, but other than that, I wasn't a big fan of the hook, and I got bored with this one. The final song I'm going to mention is Move On, which is the last song on the album. And I'm not a big fan of the beat. It feels like Marshmello made this beat or like produced it. Can't say if he did that for sure, but that's just how it feels. And Marshmello had his time, and it's not in the year 2025 by any mean. I think it's a cool message that he's kind of saying that he's over the beef. You know what I mean? He's moved on from that. He's grown as a person. Takeoff used to be a good friend of his, so he's not gonna continue hating someone that was so close and dear to his heart. And he just wants peace. But the hook is just very repetitive, where he's just like, I want to move on, I want to move on. Not great for the message that he was trying to send. Good message, bad song. So the best way I can describe this album is that this is like trap beats done right for me. If you watch my Gunner review, my biggest complaint was that every song sounded the same, and on this album, every song sounds different, and I like that, and I like the Offset did that because each song has its own personality and originality to it. And this is like the last one just done so much better in my opinion with and some songs having some meanings. I was genuinely surprised, like, on the production as a whole in the album because it's pretty good. Like, most songs have and I would dare say all the songs have, like, pretty good production. Like, I never thought it was bad. I just thought, like, some beats were weird and some songs just didn't sound too great or not to my liking, you know what I mean? Not what I like. And the songs that I did like, I didn't think that they were amazing. I just kinda thought that they were good. Like, I thought they were songs that I would chill to, and, I will have in rotation songs like Never Let Go and Checkmate. I think are songs that are really going to be in my rotation and I listen to a lot. But a lot of these other songs, they kind of come and go for me right now. Like I've skipped a few of them in the meantime of listening to them on my like big playlist. But there are some, generally good songs like I was mentioning. But there are some just good songs. There's some okay songs, and then there's some meh songs. But I wouldn't really say there's any like bad songs on this album. And because of that, I think that I'm gonna give this a 6.5 out of 10. I was pleasantly surprised by like the production and the originality of each song, while that being like trap beats because that is like my least favorite kind of beat to ever be on a song. And well, there's a lot of different moods on this song. That there's a lot of variety, and I like that out of this. Well, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I guess maybe like, maybe subscribe, maybe comment. What did you think about the album? Do you think my rating is fair? Do you think my reasoning is good? Do you think I'm stupid for not giving this a higher rating, or am I stupid for not realizing how bad this album is and not giving it a lower? Let me know in the comments, whatever. I'll see you next time. Stay stinky. Bye bye.